So against that backdrop, with those really, really big increases, what 5 bags from my collection would I say that I would buy again? Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's video I found really, really interesting. I was watching Minx Q&A this morning and somebody had asked Minx, in today's climate, with these crazy price increases that we have seen in specifically Chanel and Louis Vuitton, what are the 5 bags in your collection that you would still buy even if you were buying them at today's prices? And I thought that is really interesting. That is a great video idea. I watched Minx 5 and I was interested to see what she had to pick, and then I thought I'm going to make that as a video because I think that is actually really, really interesting. So against that backdrop, we, I suppose, have to touch on the recent crazy price increases. A Chanel classic flap is now, I believe, £6,860 or something around that. A Chanel classic flap in the UK is roughly just short of £7,000, which is a huge amount of money. I looked around my bags before I started this and I don't have any bag that costs that amount of money. None of my bags cost £7,000, I'm quite happy to say. Whew, need a moment. And would I still buy a Chanel classic flap at £7,000? I don't want to sit here and say to you, no, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't buy a Chanel classic flap. It would have to be a special bag. It would have to be a colour or a fabric or something about it that just I was obsessed with, that made it very, very special. Can I see myself at the minute? Is there anything at the minute that I have seen that I think I would want to spend that I would spend £7,000 on as a Chanel classic flap? And that's in the medium size. And no, there isn't. I have to say, I absolutely loved the bright orange Chanel classic flap that came out recently. I did want that. I didn't get it. I can't see me spending £7,000 on it. In fact, I was using again today the Teddy Blake one that's sitting in the background, and that's why it's sitting there. I'm not put back in there because I've just set it down. And it's bright orange, and that is scratching the bright orange itch that I have. Can I see myself spending £7,000? I don't want to say absolutely no, but there's nothing at the minute that I think I can see myself spending that on. Or can I envisage it in the future? Not really, but again, if there was something that came out that was spectacular, maybe. But at the minute, whew, that's a lot of money. So against that backdrop, with those really, really big increases, what 5 bags from my collection would I say that I would buy again at today's prices? Now, I have kept this to Chanel and Louis Vuitton because those are the 2 houses that seem to have had the most increases and the most significant increases. I have recently bought, like this Capucine is very recent, so obviously I'm not including that because that was bought at today's price. Whew. And I'm not including some of, I have, say, there's a Gucci Super Mini in there somewhere in the bright colour. I would absolutely buy that again at today's price. I think it's a fabulous little bag. But sticking to Chanel and Louis Vuitton, number 1 of the bags that I would buy again will come as absolutely no surprise. And this has to be the Neverfull in the GM size, which still has all of my work stuff in it, which is why it's so heavy and I'm struggling to lift it up. This is my everyday companion. I take this to work every day. It has my laptop in it. It has my laptop charger in it. It has my agenda in it. It has my toiletry 15 in it. It has my mini pochette in it. It has my hat in it because it rains a lot. It has my recto verso. It has my round coin purse with change in it. I'm sure there's also, yeah, down at the bottom, there's a key clay. It has my migraine tablets in it. It can take everything. I think it's an absolute fabulous bag, and it absolutely, I would buy again. In fact, I did buy again. When I first bought this, it was €550 set quick. I bought my first one 10 years ago in Rome for €550. I bought this again whenever it was, I believe, 1,100 and something pounds. That was, I think, maybe 2 price increases ago. It is now, today on the website, it is £1,220. €550, which is roughly £490. 1,220. But yes, even with that increase, even with that being such an increased amount of money over what I initially paid for it, which I thought was a very lot of money at the time, very lot of money, bad grammar, which I thought was a lot of money at the time. Yes, even at £1,220, I would still buy it again because I think this bag is that good. The next bag that I would buy again at today's prices. Now, I am by no means saying that this bag is not extremely, extremely expensive. It is. It's not £7,000, which the classic flap is, but it's a very, very expensive bag. And moving over to Chanel, and it is the Chanel 19 in the small size. Now, I have two of these. I have this tweed one, and somewhere in there is the plain black one. I love the Chanel 19 bag. I get quite a lot of wear out of it. If you watched my recent Dublin vlog, you'll have seen me wearing the Chanel 19 in the black. If you watched, I think, the Dublin vlog before that, you'll have seen me carrying this one in the tweed. If you watched my magenta video where we were talking about the love of that colour, you will know that I absolutely love the Chanel 19 in the magenta colour. It's the same as this colour here, and I would not rule out getting that if I stumbled across it. I think the Chanel 19 bag is fabulous. For me, it's very usable because it's a more casual bag. I still wear mine crossbody. It's maybe very slightly shorter than I would like if I was the one designing the bag, but it sits okay for me crossbody. I also wear it kind of under my arm like this, or carry it even by the top handle. It's bigger than the minis, which I use quite a lot. I can fit in this generally more than I fit in my medium classic flap, and I just absolutely love it. And I think just about this is still worth is a very loose term and a very relative term. Is any handbag worth thousands and thousands of pounds? It's a bag, people. No, it's not. As a bag, for the function that it carries out, no, it's not worth that sort of money. But to us handbag enthusiasts, handbag lovers, Chanel lovers, it's relative, I suppose. And when I say worth, I mean, do I still think it's a price that I would pay for this bag at today's price? And from what this tells me at the minute, the black in the small leather is £4,210. Again, that's more than I paid for my black one. I am not saying it's an accessible bag, or I'm not saying it's a reasonably priced bag at all. I'm absolutely not saying that. But just about, yes, I would still pay that at today's price for the 19. I think it's that good of a bag. It's that usable. Yeah, I would. I think if you were wanting one, I would try and go before there's many more price increases. But I still think it's a bag that I can justify that price point for how much I use it, for how much I love it. And whenever you set it aside, my medium classic flap, I can just see it poking it there. When you set it against the £7,000 price tag for that, which I didn't pay because I've had mine a while, but yeah, I think this is one I would still buy. Another bag that I would still buy, and again, I am not saying that this is a reasonably priced bag, but for me, even with a price increase at the minute, I would still buy it, and it is the Capucine's Mini. Now, this is one of my absolute favourite bags. I paid, I believe, $3,250 for this. I've just looked on the Louis Vuitton website to find out how much it is now, and it's saying call for inquiry. It's not actually giving you the price of the bag, so I don't know what they're sitting at the minute. I do believe they've gone up a bit. This, I've said before, is not the most usable bag. It can be a bit awkward with the split in the middle and how you're getting your items in and out. And I suppose that is a negative against the price. But for me, I love this bag that much. And the black one, I wear both of these that much. I would still purchase them at today's price, even with a price increase. Now, I don't know if they keep going up, how much I will keep going and still saying that I would purchase them. But at present, I still would, because I absolutely love them and I get a lot of use out of them. The next bag in this list that I would still buy at today's price in a heartbeat is the Chanel Mini. Now, I keep picking expensive bags. Again, I am not saying this is a reasonably priced bag, or this is a bag that's accessible, or this is a bag that's not expensive. It absolutely is expensive. But as Chanel prices go, and with Chanel bags, I still think I would pay the price for this, and I still think that it is, I'm not going to say value for money because that's crazy, But as Chanel prices go, I still think it is a value piece for Chanel. The classic flap in the medium that's poking out in there, as we've discussed earlier, is now nearly £7,000. This, from what is on the website in Chanel at present, there is a black lambskin one showing on the website for £3,260. Now, is that a lot of money? Of course it's a lot of money. Is that a lot of money for a mini bag? Of course it is. But a Chanel mini bag is effectively, let's make this a little easier, it's a mini version of the Chanel classic. So this bag is nearly £7,000. This is 3,260. This, if you're looking at capacity, doesn't actually hold that much for being 2 sizes up, because there's a small in the middle. And then this, yes, you do have to downsize, but the look of the bag is still the classic Chanel bag, especially if you get the quilting. Personally, I love chevron, but for the Chanel classic look, they're so similar. They're just a smaller version. This one you can wear crossbody without having to alter the chain, which I love. It does have the 2 grommets, so you can't double it up to wear it on your shoulder. But as today's prices go, 3,260, yes, it's an awful lot of money. But for a Chanel mini, I would still buy it at that price. Now, if they were to keep going up and up and up, and if we're getting minis going into the 4s and 5s of £1,000, I think I'd be rethinking that. But at today's price, yes, this is a bag that I would still buy. The last bag that I would still buy at today's prices, and I've pulled an example for, is Chanel seasonal bags. Personally, luckily, I love Chanel seasonal bags. Absolutely love them. I love that they will generally have better strap lengths. They can generally go crossbody. They are more affordable in Chanel prices. They will have sometimes something just different about them. Like if we look at this particular hardware, it's like jewellery. I love the ones with the chains across them. Deal has a fabulous denim, which the CC's printed on it, which is a crossbody length. Chanel seasonal bags are some of my favourite Chanel bags. When you look at the price of these compared to the classic flap that we've just compared to the mini, absolutely, I think the Chanel seasonal bags are worth looking at. They are still a lot of money. We are still talking Chanel prices. They are still expensive handbags. But as per today's prices and against the backdrop of what everything else costs, I would still look at Chanel seasonal bags. And if it was one that I love, generally how the seasonal bags are priced, they are bags that I would still buy even in today's price ranges and today's market. Now, when I watched Minnie's Q&A when she was doing this, Minnie did honourable mention. And if Minnie says it's okay to do an honourable mention, it's okay to do an honourable mention. So I'm going to do an honourable mention. There are other bags at today's prices that I would still buy. And I still think that there is room for purchasing Louis Vuitton coated canvas bags, at today's prices. Some of them I accept are getting very high in their prices, but for the usability of them, for how good I find they are, for how much wear I get out of them, I still think that the price is in a ballpark that I could still justify to pay. I would still buy the Palm Springs Mini in today's prices, and I appreciate they've gone up. I would also still buy the multi-pochette accessoire at today's prices, because I get, as a casual option, I get a huge amount of use out of both of these. Now, I tend to chop and change them. I did have the Nano Speedy. I didn't need to have 3. I didn't have the use for 3 because I wear them in the same type of outfit or the same type of occasion. But the Nano Speedy, I still think if you can get around to retail, is also another bag that I still think, if that was the choice of canvas crossbody bag that I was going for, that I would still buy at today's price. If you prefer the Alma shape, I still think the Alma bag is not bad for today's price. It's still a bag that I think that I could buy at that price. The Speedy, I also still think is a bag that I could buy. Now, I appreciate they are so much more money than they were when we were buying these bags 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but the harsh reality is the prices have moved on. Do I think that they will continue to be worth it if the price still keeps going up and up and up? No, it's going to get to a ceiling. It's going to get to a point where you're saying, I'm not paying £2,500 for a canvas bag. Of course it's going to get there. But at the minute, and before any more price increases come, for how good I find those bags, my honourable mention is Louis Vuitton canvas. I still think that there are bags within those ranges that I would buy at today's price range. This was really interesting. It was thought-provoking. It made me think about my bags. It made me think about how much money I am willing to throw at bags. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do give it a thumbs up. If you have any other video ideas you would like me to film, please leave them in the comment box. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.